Hey guys, welcome to my new YouTube channel. I just wanted to start a new YouTube channel to talk about my job search journey while having a criminal record. Now, as most of you know, it isn't easy to really get a job in a corporate office or some major company while having a record. Basically, a good amount of companies tend to conduct background searches to see if a candidate applying meets their standards and is able to carry the responsibilities of the job. And obviously, many companies really see having a criminal record as a negative impact. And so I just wanted to share my story on dealing with the hardships and basically the whole world journey of trying to find a job these past few years. So just a little bit about me. I got a criminal record about 4 years ago, and since then I've worked a few jobs. Not like the best ones, but they're able to help me get by. But yeah, so after getting arrested and going through the whole court process, I decided to work a job to show that I was doing something productive to the court. So I ended up contacting a friend who actually runs his own company and let me intern there for about a few months. At first I didn't really mind, getting paid because it was kind of just for the court, really, just to show that I was doing something and not just bumming around at home. And after actually about a few months of working for my friend, he actually decided to offer me a full-time position in his company. He knew my circumstances, my situation, but he said he didn't really care, and he'll offer me a position so I could just stay there. So I actually ended up working at my friend's company for maybe about 2 years or so. But basically the pay was just really not cutting it for me. So after that I decided to just go find another job. Yeah, so unfortunately the pay was honestly, it was under my state's minimum wage, and it was not enough to help me get by. It just wasn't really paying my bills and paying rent, things like that. And so I was just basically getting greedy, honestly. So after quitting the job, I decided I should just go back to school and looking for a new job at the same time. This is basically where my journey really began, because the first 2 years I kind of had a job that paid me a little money, but this is really where the whole entire journey starts. So after leaving my friend's company, I decided to go to school to learn coding. Actually, there was actually a huge tech boom in my state, and everyone was getting into it, and everyone's saying how the starting salary is beyond what most jobs start. And I thought this is a great opportunity for me to start something new in an industry that's up and coming. So I decided to go to coding school, and it was about 4 or 5 months, and after finishing school up, I secured an internship. While I was interning, I was still applying to jobs on the side because I wasn't getting paid as an intern. I didn't necessarily mind it, just because it was helping me build my experience, and I realized that, maybe with this, I'll be able to get a job at some point. However, after about a half a year or so of interning, my manager basically told me that the company had no intentions of offering full-time positions to any of the interns. So I was pretty discouraged to continue working there, and eventually I just decided to leave. So after leaving, I tried to look into new internships and even new jobs, things like that. And having 6 months of experience, I thought that I could probably land at least maybe an entry-level job, maybe even just get an interview at least. Unfortunately, I didn't even get a single interview after sending in hundreds and hundreds of applications. It was pretty upsetting to see that after putting in so much work, going to school and interning for half a year. I basically wasted about a whole year right there. After about 6 months, still wasn't getting interviews, so after some time I decided to take a break from applying to jobs on the daily, and I decided to try and do my own thing. At the time, my social media was getting flooded with all these people doing things like e-commerce, affiliate marketing, just all these things on social media, and I thought, why not just give it a shot? A lot of people are saying you don't need a lot of money to start, things like that, blah blah blah. So I decided to look into things. I eventually found out one of my friends does e-commerce, and he's making a lot of money. So I decided to hit him up about it. After I contacted him, he actually taught me a lot of valuable skills like social media advertising, what products work, what products don't. And after spending about a month or two of learning, I finally built out a store and launched it. The first month was actually kind of a struggle for me because I saw huge losses. No profit, just wasn't making really any money. However, after the first month or so, I started to see a lot more money coming in, and I started becoming really profitable. It was actually a really nice change to see money flowing in for once, because basically I spent like about like a year and a few months of not seeing any cash come into my bank account. So while running the store, I was still applying to jobs and working on my coding skills, but I mean, it was basically a whole year still, and I just wasn't seeing any results. Like, I wasn't getting interviews, no one's contacting me back for jobs or anything, and it was pretty discouraging still, but I wasn't like too upset, just because it was nice to do my own thing and make money. I mean, while it was nice to do e-commerce, work my own schedule, do whatever I wanted, basically, it wasn't really what I wanted. So for a weird reason, I really had this desire to work at a corporate office, basically like all my friends are doing. And after self-learning e-commerce and social media advertising, I thought I had the experience to get into the media and advertising industry. So I basically gave up on coding, just because I didn't really see any results. I just lacked motivation, determination, and it really put me in like a very depressed state at that point. So I kind of had like this new ambition and motivation to try and get into the media and advertising industry. So I began to apply to a bunch of jobs in that industry, and surprisingly, I actually saw a lot more results, and I began getting a lot more interviews for entry-level roles and mid-level roles. A lot of the interviews basically ended after the first or second interview, and basically they told me that I don't really have any professional experience. I'd never worked at an agency or even just another company where I had a client. Most of it was self-taught, worked on it by myself. Very different scenario for them. So I saw some interviews where I made it past the second round, where I made it to the third or fourth. Some even made it to the final, but it was only like not that many. It was very few. Eventually, one job actually gave me a job offer, and I was super surprised. Because up until that point, I spent about over a year and a few months trying to look for a job and didn't get any results. And I was super excited to get the job. I accepted it right away, and I told them I'll start immediately. Basically, they told me that I'm going to start next week, and I was like, damn, I'm finally going to be working now. The job doesn't pay me under minimum wage. So I was about on the job for maybe about a few days until the company said that we have to conduct a background check. So I can't really reject it, because it's part of the company's policies, and in my contract it said that the offer is basically contingent on me clearing the background check. So my happiness turned very quickly, and I realized that, I don't know, basically something's gonna come up and I might lose this job. So the company sent me this form that I fill out with all this background information, and I basically had no other choice to comply. And after sending in what they wanted, the search found out that I had a record, and the company decided to rescind my offer. I was honestly devastated, and it sent me into this very depressed state. And after spending the past 2 years or so to find a new job, I got my first job offer rescinded. After that, basically I had no motivation again to look for new jobs. I just stayed home all day, laid in bed, barely ate. It was very mentally damaging, and it's just I didn't think that I'd be able to find another job again, or I'd have to go into working some kind of like crappy job or something. So I decided to take mental health days, which I should stress are very important. You guys should really take some time to sit down and just reflect on things. Like do things like meditation or things like that to really kind of release some stress. Yeah, so after taking those mental health days, I decided to view more things a little more optimistically and began to apply to jobs again. And that's basically where I am today. I'm still in the process of searching for jobs, but I realized I shouldn't let my background affect me. I understand that my criminal record is a major red flag for many companies, and it's not going to be easy to find a job. However, I'm really trying to keep up my motivation and determination to find a new job. So yeah, that's basically a quick story of my job searching journey after getting a record. I wanted to show people the progress and the journey it is for people who have records and shed some light on the matter. If you guys really enjoyed the content, I would really greatly appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps it out. I'm really trying to get the word out about people in the situation too. If you guys want to hear more updates or whatever stories that you guys want to hear, just leave a comment and I'll try to make a video about it. But yeah, that basically wraps up my first video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'll try to get more videos out, and I hope you guys can stick around and follow my journey.